Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to EUS Challenge Series number 13, Day 4 Grand Finals, the fifth game of the best of five between Meet Your Makers and Copenhagen Wolves. This is blind pick, ladies and gentlemen. All the action will be kicking off. I am Pulse, I'm joined by Metas, and let's get stuck into the action. We're not going live just as of yet, making sure that neither of the teams can watch the opponent's picks, making sure that this is actually blind pick. Metas, how's it going?
It's going so good, man. We thought it could go to the best of five in the fifth game, and that's exactly what's happened. 2-2 right now. Meet Your Makers really turning it on in that last game. As you say, we can't currently see anything, and because I'm watching the stream, I'm completely in the dark here, Paul. So you're probably going to have to take kind of the front seat for the foreseeable future if I get my words out. And that's how excited I am. I can't even speak.
Yeah, and people asking for names of casters, I'm Pulse, I'm joined by Metas, I'm at Impulsable, and he is at MetasTV on Twitter. Okay, so we're now in the delay, so that you can't actually look at the opponent's picks. I'm going to read them out. It should be on screen very shortly, Metas, but just for the purposes of this. So, Reckless on Corky, Cowtard on Lysandra, Shook on Lee Sin, no surprises, Youngbook on Shen, Unlimited on Fresh, likewise, Libic also on Fresh, Makler on Twitch, Kubon on Rumble, Charu on Zed, and finally Naga on Elise.
Right. The lobby has just came up for me watching the stream, so I can let this all sink in. 2 Threshes. We're not going to have the 6 or was it the 6 Zeds and 2 Shens that you were talking about before, which I guess is a bit of a disappointment for you, Pulse, because I know you'd have loved to have seen that personally. But
Indeed.
2 Threshes, that's a lot of death and decay on the map. It's a bit morbid almost.
It is, as well. And knowing that both of these supports are so good to refresh, like Libic, after the last 3 games, we've always said those death sentences have been making plays, making them win games. Unlimited as well, always on point with those death sentences, always with the plays. So to have both of those supports in that position is so good. And it's funny because we've gone with blind pick and we only have 1 mirror. That's kind of funny.
It is funny, but I'm just laughing actually quite a lot at chat, you know, the inevitable trolls. Oh my god, how are there 2 Threshes when one team picked him? This is blind pick, ladies and gents. This is the 5th game in a best of 5 format. So that is the reason that you can see the 2 Threshes right now. I was expecting a few more actually clashes here, Paul. See, I thought, you know, that maybe Makler would go for the Corky as well, because they've took the Thresh.
Yeah, I definitely agree, but we have to go to a quick commercial break, and we did it slightly later because of the way the lobby was working, but we'll be back very shortly with the final game between Meet Your Makers and Copenhagen Wolves, the blind pick game. We'll see you very shortly.
When I look in the distance on a starry night, everything seems to be okay.
Hello, ladies and gents. Welcome back to Chaos TV's live coverage of the EUWChallenger Series number 13. I'm Metis, joined by Pulse. We are into the 5th all-important blind pick matchup here, and it's going to be quite interesting to see how this one pans out. Pulse,
Yes.
I know you're really hyped for this game. Off the picks, which way are you going with this one?
Both of them.
Genius.
Genius. Honestly, I could not place it. I just heard from Spuddington that he asked Youngbuck what their opinion is, and they're really scared of Charu's late game on Zed, and understandably, because Zed can get to that stage where he can duel anyone, he can nuke anyone off the map, he can remove them, and that is very scary. They picked up Shen because they've kind of predicted that, but even Shen can't stand up to Zed's late game. Also in teamfights, he will delete someone. He is a playmaker. We've seen Faker in Korea, and actually Monte Cristo, one of his tweets was Faker, playmaker. He can make all those things happen, all those dreams come true. MYM circling around the jungle, likewise Summer Invade coming in from Copenhagen Wolves.
Yes, and that's not even mentioning that one of Charu's best characters in the entirety of League of Legends is Zed. He is renowned for his Zed play, so it definitely gets a lot more scarier when you put things into context like that as well. Oh, here, meet your makers. Lee Sin throwing in the Q. Very smart play from Shook, keeps him alive.
Everyone in chat saying 2 freshers, and someone's response was 2 teams? I like the response, I like it. Okay, so right now we could see an explosive start to this game. Remember, 2 freshers, hooks on either side. There's Death Sentences living up to its name. Death Sentence lands onto one of the minions, follows up. Who will get this? It will be Shook. So they will be backing on off. Reckless leading that charge, making sure that they do repel them from this assault.
Well, the result of that, however, though, Pulse, is that Naga is going to be behind now because Shook picked up the red and is already moving towards his blue. So you look at the XP differential between these two. That's the reason Naga's gone for the smite instantly, realizing that he is behind right now, realizing that he needs to catch up on Lee Sin. So Shook is already started off on his blue buff. It's going to be quite a while before Naga is on his red.
Yeah, so looking towards this bot lane, it's going to be Corki versus Makler on that Twitch. Meanwhile, we have Shook flashing up red. I was thinking he was under gank pressure and realised he was in a battle to the death with blue buff. So he did prevail over blue, as we see now in the bot lane. I'm very interested to see what happens when Fresh hooks each other. Yeah, I'm not sure what happens.
We were talking about this in the break. I'm partial to the idea that the universe would explode.
Okay.
I'm not too sure how it'll work, but that of course may not even happen because the chances of both of them throwing it out at the same time and landing is not too high. But we can cross our fingers and hope, Pulse.
Indeed, and now in the mid lane, Charu trading off against Kaltod. The early game is not where they need to fear Zed, it's definitely the mid and late game when you can make those plays happen. Top lane will be Kubon trading off against Youngbuck. And in the bot lane, Livik lands the Death Sentence onto Reckless. Actually, the Ignite comes in as well, but Unlimited is there. That strong front line. Damage comes out the flash, and Makler picks up the first blood. Now aggressing onto Unlimited. Can Livik pick up the next Death Sentence? The answer is no. Meanwhile, we do have Kaltod dropping low. He also falls. Meanwhile, Zed falls in the process. Vega trading off with Shook. Who will be winning in this battle? It looks like it will be Shen. And the hook goes over the wall. He follows after Naga comes down, jumps over the wall with Safeguard once again, picks up the kill.
Oh my god, the explosiveness of this game is unbelievable. There goes the whole idea of an intense kind of warfare. They have both teams just coming out swinging, taking no prisoners, and already 4 kills after 4 minutes. 100 gold separating them. So while we've got some time, Pulse, let's take a few breaths here and talk about who picked up what kill and how that's going to influence the rest of this game. So, Shook got a kill, and so did Kaltod on Lissandra. Whereas, Zed didn't get one, but Twitch and Elise picked up a kill. Mid lane, do you think this is going to make Kaltod a bit easier and safer there?
It will help them definitely through the early game. If they're looking to shut down Zed, that's definitely something they need to look towards. In the top lane, there was no real difference made. In the bot lane, though, Unlimited flashing up red has that the passive ticking down from Makler. The kill potential is strong from both of these bot lanes, in fact. And it actually is a pure skill matchup when it comes to Fresh. In the top lane, potential gank coming out from Naga with Kubon following up. Doesn't quite connect the cocoon if he was looking for it. But I definitely agree, Messers. It's The changes have been made all over the map, but I feel they all even each other out in the long run.
Oh yeah, definitely. There is no gaping hole between anybody on the map right now. It is still very, very even, very close. Bot lanes are going to be recalling, barring Reckless, who's just going to stay in farm for a bit longer. It's going to be Vampiric Scepter, Doran's Blade, and a Boot of Speed picked up for Twitch. Reckless going to clear this wave out. Both Threshes are back at spawn. And they're both, of course, going to just be filling in the blanks with some sight and vision wards. Naga picking up his raids, so nothing too serious kicking off Pulse, but that's what I'm expecting this game to be. Sudden flurries of action and all hell breaking loose, and it's going back to a standstill and that farming frenzy.
Yeah, we'll see what happens, and honestly from the first couple of minutes we've had so much explosive action, we've really needed that rest, because I would not have been able to keep that up for like 50 minutes, because I'm sure this will go on for a very long time. Metas, please. It's getting late, guys, and these jokes will inevitably happen. Well, I'm not actually going to reveal what we were talking about during the break, but in the mid lane, so we do have... Oh, actually, I'm going to swap up to top lane, because Shook and Youngbuck looking for the potential gank to happen. He is level 6. Kubon, level 5. When does he have the equalizer? The answer is very soon. They're looking to follow up on him. One step wrong could spell the end of Kubon. Still looking at this, doesn't quite connect the Shadow Dash, as we have the follow-up from Shook.
You can just imagine Kubon's reaction. Oh, hey guys, what's up? The taunt was like a millimeter away, but kind of got a full frontal view with both Shook and also Youngbuck. And actually he's going to be cancelling away that recall. Ping's coming down at bot lane. Both of these Thresh players are bouncing head to head. So this is just one of those games, Pulse. It's one of those games where both teams have so much on the line. And I'm interested to see if they're going to throw caution to the wind and just go full force for it.
Yeah, remember guys, Unlimited took so close. But Copenhagen Wolves have only ever lost one tournament. They've only not come first once out of 4 lands and 9 online tournaments. So this will be the second one. And it's not impossible because we're now in the 5th game. So MYM making history.
They certainly are making history, and this, if they can dethrone Copenhagen Wolves, that is 5 unanswered EUWChallenger series in a row. So, if Meter Makers can pick this up, again, it is the change of royalty, so to speak, in the EUWChallenger series. Regardless, though, that's still a long way in the future. This game is well and truly even. Mid lane, Kautar pushing very aggressive. Needs to be careful because here comes Naga from the side. Shook is going to get caught from that cocoon. Frozen tomb instantly. Naga wrong place at wrong time. Here comes Zed from the side, however. Naga is going to bleed out from that ignite, and it will be a free kill there from the 2 mid laners, Kautar and Shook.
Yeah, exceptional play. Oh, Duke out of the way in bot lane again. The mechanics in terms of the... in fact, he plays him backwards in with the Valkyrie. He will be getting out. And I also missed a chance for a pun. I could have said macklering history. There we go. Gotta make sure that comes out there.
Boo!
Unbelievable, this co-caster. Anyway, so in the 5th day, Chara drops very low. Auto attack comes out. The Big Shadow will keep him healthy, but this game is just so tight. 1k advantage to Copenhagen Wolves is honestly nothing at this stage.
Yeah, that's very true. I can't really elaborate on that, but Thresh firing out a hook, and oh, look, another Thresh firing out a hook. And what a huge surprise, both of them laughing at each other. Mid lane, Shook and Kautar looking to push down this tower. I can't see any defense in the near future, so this is going to be first blood in terms of towers, and it will go to the hands of Copenhagen Wolves. How are Meteor Makers going to bounce back from this? They were talking about Charu being very scary late game. Maybe it's a case, Pulse, they don't want to get to late game. They want to finish it well and truly before then.
That's definitely their play. That's what they're looking for, because their late game is unbelievably scary. Like Mackler on Twitch, Kubon on Rumble. His mid game and late game is so good with Area Denial, and his ultimate synergizes so well with Zed. Pops down the equalizer, splits up the fight, allows Zed to kind of take down the crippled champions who are either hit by equalizer or split off by the to their team. And also Naga on Elise will help them through the mid game, or sorry, help them through the early game, and then get the magic penetration and then transition into a tank so that he performs that utility role into mid and late game. So their transition is unbelievably good. Copenhagen Wolves' play is to shut them down early. They picked Lee Sin. He sort of scales up but still has that utility in the jungle at least, So Shook, hopefully, this is his time to shine. Top lane, we have Zed coming in.
Yes, he is. Charu comes in. Youngbok is the prey right now. He's playing Shen, so he's very tanky. Can he get away from this one? Deathmark goes down. Equalizer as well, but look at how tanky Youngbok is. He's absorbing so much punishment right now. Charu could fall as a result of this, forced to flash away, but they do finally get their man. And that will be a kill for nothing. Just got to say this before Zed recalls. Zed, you crazy. You don't have enough hands for them many long swords.
Yeah, well,
Dead.
there's 3 of them, and he's dead. That's apparently why Shook looking for the next kill onto Kubon. And I guess it's 1 for each one of his shadows, you know?
Yeah. But can shadows hold a sword?
It's a good point, Metas. That's very philosophical. It's too late for that. Too late in the
Let's
day.
move on.
Let's move on. Let's do that. Oh yes, all shook up. The chat bringing out the puns. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, though, double box comes out, intersecting each other. It's like a Venn diagram coming out from Fresh. In fact, none of the kills come down. I can't believe I've just slipped into math, but now Makler has also been caught. Now the barrier comes out, more auto attacks to deflate extra damage. It's not quite enough. Reckless is still fishing for the kill though. Livic underneath the turret, and finally that's the end of the aggression.
It was boxception at bot lane. A box within a box. And lots of damage being put down, but Twitch did not fall. Makler refusing to lose, and I love that all shook up part. That was beautiful. Whoever typed that in chat deserves a giveaway, Pulse, actually. But regardless, Drake has been started off from Copenhagen Wolves, being pinged down from Purple Team, so they know what's going on. They've got vision of the area. The question is, can they actually do anything about it? Doesn't look likely. Instead, they're going to look to push the mid tower instead.
Yeah, in the top lane, we did have Youngbuck if he was needed to take that dragon, but, well, that was a no, because he could just stay at the top lane. So, once again, we do have the aggression coming in, looking to make those plays. We've recognised MYM as the play-making team. Naga will find himself Youngbuck. Charo also following after. Does he have the death mark? Just not at the moment. Now he does. He's looking to quite land it. There it is. Now following up with the extra movement speed and the living shadow. One more auto attack. In fact, it will time out with a death mark. Picks up the kill. 1 for 0. Shook looking around the area. Does he actually want to go into this? Probably no. But he is looking to kind of cut off Elise and making sure he can't just recall in their jungle.
My turn for a bad pun. Ready?
Alright.
He's looking to shell shook the enemy team. I'll see myself out. Goodbye.
Yes! Outstanding. Tweet at Metas TV.
Please don't. Don't reward me for that. It was awful.
It was so good. Anything's good at this time of night, though, to be fair.
That is actually true, but into the game again, I'm not even going to go there, Pulse. There's so many things that just came up in my mind when you said that. Bot lane, Makler, and Reckless. How is it looking? 123 CS to 85. That's pretty brutal. However, Makler does have a kill, so that is going to mitigate some of that CS differential, but this tower is looking very weak and vulnerable, ripe for the taking. A little bit coming around from the side, trying to steal away from that blue, but Coutard's already taken it on the way back to mid.
Okay, so I'm looking at Rumble's build right now. He's opted for the Haunted Guise, which is fairly standard, and the Sork Boots because his base damages are so strong. Makes sense. Now he's gone for the Negatron Cloak. I'm actually wondering if he will go for probably the Spirit Visage, because it's such an efficient item even if you don't go after one of the specific stats. And actually, another pun incoming, Negatron Cloak. Nice.
Brilliant. I've got no comebacks to that, just brilliant.
It's getting worse. It's there's a steady decline in jokes. It's gonna hit maths at some point as well.
It already has hit maths.
It has, yeah.
With those 2 boxes, and I don't even know what you said. I'm just gonna take it as
Venn diagram.
There you go. Yeah, well done, Paul. So always have
Thank
to
you.
bring in the mathematics, don't you? Regardless, though, I thought Charu was going to come down to bot lane, but he second-guessed himself. Going to go back to mid again. Coutard level 11, Charu 10 is going to be engaging, actually. Frozen Tomb instantly from Coutard. Does not want any piece of this. Very well played, negating all of that death mark amplified damage. And now Charu is giving chase very aggressively. Knows that he has both Naga and also Kubon behind him, giving hot pursuit. And that is going to be a kill at the end. Although Charu flashing up red, very close to falling, was on about 70 hit points as a result.
Yeah, and again, one more pick. Charu is so low. Now Shock also trying to zone out the mid lane. Fresh is also coming out, but with Reckless recalling in the top lane of Shen, he does, of course, in fact, he doesn't have his ultimate, so we're looking to siege this one out. They are 2 towers behind, so this tower would really help them, at least in global gold. They are sieging it very effectively. Mac was very, well, decent at sieging. Twitch is one of the weaker AD carries at sieging compared to, you know, the greats like sort of Varus and Caitlyn, and even Ashe to some extent as well. And even Cogmore, because Cogmore is picked in Korea a lot for sieging potential, but Twitch is kind of weak when it comes to that.
Yeah, in particular, if his spray and pray is down, then it's Twitch can't do a great deal. Can kind of be irritating with the poisons, but apart from that, doesn't really do that much. Mackler clearing out bot lane. How much gold does he possess? 1.1k. So that's still not going to be enough to finish off the Blade of the Ruined King when he goes back. Would need 1400 gold to finish that item off from this situation. Thresh is also going back, so Lidic opting to pick up some more Vision Wards, already has the Sight Stone on top of it. I feel that in about 2 minutes when Drake respawns, that's when we're going to see fireworks once again, Pulse.
I completely agree. Both teams want to go for team fights, and both teams really have such good team fight potential. So much AoE, so much CC. Chara in the top lane, Naga to the backside. What will they do here? What is their play? Charu has the ultimate. He also has flash for the gap close. Shock also in contention. This could get messy. This could get messy very quickly. Kalton moves into the run. The Ring of Frost comes down. Naga is still there. Neurotoxin comes in. Lands the Q. Will follow up. Repels up into the air. They're waiting for him to come back down. What will Charu's move be? Frozen 2 comes out. Execute comes in. Charu does not follow up. And that's the 1 for 0 trade.
It is, and that could convert itself into a tower as well. I don't think Charu fancies his chances, even with the Deathmark and the flash up and available. And here comes the rest of the team. So very smart from Charu, wasn't waiting around, realised that the possibilities of being flanked were far too high. And even though it's a 5-5 scoreline, the gold is starting to go into the hands of Copenhagen Wolves. 27k on the dot to 21.9k. I say 26.9 on the dot, but actually never mind that. Here we go, the full-on engage is going to be coming out right now. Charo from the side is going to be taken out courtesy of Corki. So Reckless gets his first kill on the board of this game. And again, Pulse, it's just a case of, can Copenhagen Wolves finish it off, or am MYM going to be that tanky kind of resilient force that they are to be reckoned with?
Copenhagen Wolves have to finish it, essentially, in the early or mid game, because, as we've already mentioned, Charu late game is not something you want to be against, especially in this team composition. The sieging one of the inhibitor turrets, this will be so good if they can pick it up. This is so risky, though. Should find themselves caught into Cocoon, and the box comes down, in with the Venn diagram. Now Kubon looking to back up. They're in good shape, they can still go for this tower dive. Naga gets locked up, the kill comes down. Now Twitch, he's in stealth, he's come in with Home God. Actually lands the cast onto 4 people. He's destroying everyone. The double kill comes out, looks for the next kill. He picks up another. They're just disintegrating. Kaltard backs off. Reckless there as well. Can they pick up the last 2 kills? They may even transition into Baron. Before we saw Copenhagen Wolves pick up the 18-minute Baron, and they definitely have the damage to do so. They don't necessarily have their jungler, but they're still looking for kills. Makler, he's in stealth. He's got the extra movement speed, looking to catch up to Reckless, but the Valkyrie is up.
Yes, indeed, and with the Triforce as well, has that 8% movement speed buff. Well, not really buff, just item. So it's very difficult to catch up with him right now. Makler will be picking up that mid tower. Could very well push down into Dragon, which is live again. So that was a case of Copenhagen Wolves being a bit too greedy, a bit too aggressive, and getting punished for it. And that just goes to prove as well that Meet Your Makers, if given half a chance here, Pulse, they can clean you up very, very quickly. So that was somewhat of a reality check there for Copenhagen Wolves. I don't think they're going to make that same mistake twice. Here comes Zed from the side. Nice dark passage. At least we'll take down Dragon.
Yeah, now backing off, that was very slick, and after those picks, that's really what they needed. And really capitalizing on the slight misplay from Copenhagen Wolves, because they know they have to try and deal a kind of fatal blow this early on into the game if they stand a chance of winning. The 3k ahead is significant, but nothing that MYM cannot come back from. Meet Your Makers have proven they're a very strong team, even when behind. In fact, the last game literally turned on a dime. Literally for 2 minutes they were behind, made a play, won the game. Surrender vote came in. Top tower still alive and standing. As long as they can keep these inhibitor turrets up, they're in good shape. Now picking on one of the outer turrets, they're still looking for this aggression. This is the right call. I don't think MYM can really contest it. They're looking to, though. We could have a team fight breaking up. In fact, no, they're just going to carry on after. Chari on the front lines. In fact, you're going to go ahead and back off.
Yeah, really smart though from Copenhagen Wolves, not allowing Meet Your Makers to breathe. really just trying to choke them out. That means there are no outer towers on the map anymore for Meteor Makers. It's just inhib towers standing. This means that in terms of Meteor Makers jungle, with these very aggressive wards that are coming in, it's difficult now for Meteor Makers to even pick their own buffs up, to even pick their neutral camps up. So that's just going to choke them out even more. It's getting very claustrophobic for them right now, Pulse. Pretty much their only sanctuary is in their own base.
Yeah, it's very true indeed, and one of the plays they need to make is all around vision. Wards need to come out from them, and NYM have really been on point with that so far from what we've seen in previous games. So as long as they can keep their own jungle warded, then they'll be in good shape, because it means they can go for picks. If someone overextends, like they did in top lane, they can capitalize on those mistakes, and that is oh so important for the team of NYM to stay in this game. We're about 4k behind. It's not something really that significant. It's significant, but not against a team like this. Chariot resting onto Jungkook in the bot lane. And this is kind of what we expected from the very start metas. We expected to see both the ninjas residing in one of those solo lanes. Meanwhile, Makler picks up the red buff. They find themselves a Kuban in the bush. Unlimited, not quite what he expected for his birthday. Now Livik on the side as well, and we have a shot now coming in. The death sentence land now with the ultimate of the box. He locks up 3. Is it enough to turn this one on its head? Now that comes in, and Kuban is forced to back off. The present tomb comes out. Makler's dealing damage, all sorts of damage from the side. Now the cat comes out. The venom is coming out. Has he used expunge? Yes, he has. Another 4 seconds until he can use it again. That is a quadra right for the taking if he knew it was there. Does he have the ultimate? Again, he already used it in the team fight. They're all recalling. This is so precarious, but also from Naga. Makler from the backside trading off with Reckless. He has the damage. The shutdown comes in with Lee Sin chiming in as well. Naga also dropping low. Can he pick up the last kill? And no, he can't. The repel comes out. He dropped onto the minion. Such close fights.
Boy, oh boy, did Makler pick the wrong Yordle to duel there. And that's going to be Lee Sin cleaning it up to get the delayed ace overall. All 5 players dying in that confrontation. But if Makler had gone the other way around, could very well have picked up 2 or 3 kills, as you said, Pulse. But he just walked headfirst into Reckless. A wild Reckless appeared out of the bushes, and that was all she wrote. But now Shook is moving over, thinking about the potential Baron. And I think if Copenhagen Wolves pick up this Baron, Pulse, this actually could be game, set and match right here. I think they have the confidence, they have the mechanical ability, everybody knows it, to take the Baron here and just force it home. So it's a case right now. Meteor Makers, do you know this is happening? Do you realise that this Baron is going down? Yes, they probably do. There is nothing they can do about it, however, and that is going to be a free Baron. So the situation before was critical. Now it's just astronomically bad. Makler has been caught from Reckless, instantly going into his ambush, and will manage to survive.
This is such a close game. 2 minutes left on the Dragon, but it honestly feels like a 50-minute game. We've had so much action, we've had so much progress from both of these teams. It really feels like that. Like, look at it. 10 towers have gone down through the rest of the map. 20 kills, and all these drakes, and the Baron has also come out. It feels like a late game. And almost to the point where, not quite if they get the ace, they could finish the game off, but honestly, a big victory like a 5-0 could deal some serious damage. Mid lane Charo finds himself caught. In fact, the cleanse came out. He follows up, and Shook picks up the kill. Followed from Lyric, doesn't connect the death sentence, but now they're really turning the one around. Zonius comes out, but is it enough? Makler, so much damage goes onto him from Lissandra. That's a 1-for-1 trade. Great play. And the incoming pings are coming from Lee Sin. He lands onto Makler, the perfect person. This is it's an escape Lyric with the mechanics. He knocks it back literally at a right angle. Unbelievable. Now with Reckless, he gets the kill onto a Rumble. Now jumping over the wall with Valkyrie, flash into Makler. He has the vision with that preemptive ward. Another rocket barrage finishes that one off. Naga in the meantime is also taken out. Lyric is the last one standing. And oh my god, Lyric's mechanics to knock him back through the air.
Lyric, take a bow. Even if your team loses, that play was so good. That was a phenomenal play. Perfect timing, saving your team for a few more seconds. Yes, they ended up dying, but talk about big plays from Livik. He's been sensational all these games, Pulse, honestly. His Thresh play in particular has just been unbelievably strong. The tower is going to fall, however, probably followed by the inhibitor afterwards. And meanwhile, actually at top, Reckless is finishing off the second inhib. As I said, once they picked up Baron, it was not going to be looking too good for them. Yes, they got the 1-for-1 trade, but that simply wasn't enough. Livik now taking point. Death sentence has already been used, so 10-second cooldown. They can't really make any plays. And smart here from Copenhagen Wolves. They got a couple of picks. picks. They got a couple of inhibs. In fact, they got one inhib and weakened another. Just pull back. Just take some of the buffs, buy some items, and then just come back even harder.
Yeah, they don't need to go too deep. Going too deep at this stage could definitely result in MYM coming back. We've seen it before, metas. They have the potential. Charu looking at this dragon. He sees Kaltod, he sees Shook. Who else is around the area? Livik is there, so is Makler. Did he want to go for this engagement? Kaltod goes for it first. Livik gets locked up, they destroy the support, but Charu is still there. And Twitch, he wants to go for this, but he's still stealth. He's actually opted to go with the latter option. Now with Shook, he's still following up, but Kubon comes into the scene. Unlimited from the side, looking for that all-important death sentence. Look, Shook, he actually lands the Q onto Charu. He follows up, they pick up one. He goes with the insect. He with the living shadow, but he's actually got Reckless from the side. He picks up another, and Makler is getting completely chunked. He's actually got the reveal onto him. He doesn't know where he is. He's gone into the stealth. He's on slow, low HP. Repel comes up. He dropped onto Unlimited. Now duking into his droid. The death sentence comes in. Another kill comes out by Youngbuck.
And that looks like it's going to seal the deal. That's the final curtain coming down. The fat lady is singing. And I honestly feel that's going to be the GG right here. They're going to push hard. Glacial Path coming through. And Livik trying his best just to be a nuisance right now. First Nexus Tower falls. Here comes the second one as well. Unlimited could be firing out Death Sentence. Yes, he will. But there's just simply not enough damage. There is not enough peel for this Nexus. It will be falling. And this epic best of 5 comes to its conclusion. Copenhagen Wolves take their 6th EUWChallenger Series title in a row. They are by far the most dominant team we've ever had in this tournament.
This has been the most amazing best of 5, the most amazing series I have ever casted and I have ever witnessed. Honestly, guys, I hope you have enjoyed, because I certainly did.